I am 33 years old and I just moved back home with my parents because I got laid off of my job. Absolutely sucks. I've taken some time to sit with those emotions and think about what's next. There are definitely good days and there are bad. And during the bad days, it just freaking sucks. Oftentimes, we don't get to choose our reset moments, such as this. Life just throws it at us, and we're suddenly there, and now we have to figure out our life all over again. In a weird way, you kind of have to be forced to be in these situations to unlock like that passion, that power, that desire to do what you're aligned to do. I am so excited for what's next. I feel like the world's my oyster and I can go in any direction. And a part of me wants to like completely change it up and be in a different industry and do something completely different. A lot of times we're just going through the motions and you don't even realize you're burnt out until you remove yourself from the situation and then look at it for what it was, which is exactly what happened with me. I was working like late nights, weekends. I was exhausted. I was so burnt out, but I refused to believe I was burnt out until all my friends started telling me, like, Arsh, your energy has changed. You're not the same person. I'm usually a very like happy-go-lucky, calm, collected person. And I feel like I was always anxious. I was so anxious all the time, which affected how I showed up in the world and with my family and friends. And they definitely noticed. Like, there were so many long stretches of time where I stopped meditating, I stopped working out, I stopped doing the things I loved and the things that kept me grounded. And I think that's when like the burnout fully like creeped in because I just wasn't present in my life. Those intrusive thoughts of like, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to figure it out.
Why so many young people are tired and burned out? There's multiple reasons why. I can probably think of one, two, three, maybe four or five reasons why a lot of young people are tired and burned out. The first reason that I can think of is the cost of living. When you look at the cost of housing, when you look at the cost of grocery, when you look at the cost of things such as car note, everything's going up. And you know what's not going up is a lot of people's wages. A lot of people's wages not going up because most company every year is basically adding only 50 cents to their employee salary. While we look at the cost of housing in the United States, the average housing cost in the United States is about 12 to $1,400 every month. This depending on where you live. That's the first reason. The cost of living is too high. The second reason that I can think of for a lot of young people why they're so burned out is student loan debt. So many young people are entering into the workforce with thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in student loan debt. And this is having an impact on how they're going to pursue their career later on because most of them will have to pay those student loan debt and most of them are getting jobs that does not pay as much as they expected to get paid when they're in college because most of them had high expectation of the amount of money that they will receive once they graduate from college based on the degree that they were studying in. And once they enter into the job market, once they enter into the workforce, they realize that most of the jobs is probably not available for them or most of the job is being replaced by either artificial intelligence or people who has more skill, better skills, or even people from overseas. And a lot of them now have to work in places such as warehouse, production. A lot of them also have to do side gigs such as Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and things like that. That's the second reason that I can think of. The third one that I can think of is social media comparison. Social media is a facade because once you enter in any social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, it seems like everybody's happy. It seems like everybody's doing good. It seems like everybody's just enjoying their life. You see a lot of young people, especially people who are the younger millennial or even the Gen Zer, they're taking pictures, traveling, going to places such as Dubai, taking pictures in beautiful location. And for a young person who's working in the workforce, once they see that, they feel like they're being left behind. They feel like their life is not where it's supposed to be. Either they're going to start questioning themselves or they're going to be questioning like, why did my parents not set me up, to have a better life compared to these people on social media? But most of the stuff that we see in social media it's mostly fake. It's mostly made up. It's mostly, fabricated to be able to have this type of perspective about them. Most celebrities like that. So a lot of people, especially young people, they tend to see that and want to basically emulate that in some sort of way in their life. And they want that quick result now. And a lot of them are really struggling with that. So that's why I think the third reason why a lot of young people are burned out is because of social media comparison. And I think the fourth one that I can think of is just the job market. The job market sucks because many of them are going inside the job market and not being able to find a job or even a job that pays them a sufficient amount of money so they can be able to basically provide for themselves. So they can be able to even move out their parents' house to get their own apartment. Many of them can't do that. This is why you see a lot of Gen Z and even like millennial, they're moving back in with their parents or they're getting a roommate. And I think the fifth reason why a lot of young people are tired and burned out is because they just not sure about the future. And most of them are delaying things such as marriage. They're delaying having children because they're not sure about the future. They don't know what the future holds for them. Because if they take this decision of getting married or if they make this decision of having children, it might cost them a lot because themselves, they can't even provide for themselves. What makes you think that they will be able to provide for someone else or even a baby or anybody around them? So I think these are the five reasons why a lot of young people are burned out and tired. Like this young lady right here, she's 33. I'm only 1 year older than her, and she's moving back to her parents' house, which is nothing wrong with that. Because if I'm ever in that situation, I will move back with my parents' house because I believe in group economic. Living as a group or as a family where you guys are supporting each other financially so everybody can be able to save, everybody can be able to basically level up. Because we live in a society where it's more individualistic, especially here in the United States. But we see a lot of foreigners when they come here in the United States, they will basically get an apartment, maybe a 3-bedroom apartment, maybe 4 or 5 of them will be in that apartment. Each one is contributing financially to be able to pay off the apartment. In the meantime, they're saving money. So in 2 to 3 years time, they'll be able to save enough money either to purchase a home or to move out to get their own apartment or to start investing in business or things like that. But we don't see that here usually in the United States because a lot of people are mostly individualistic. They focus on themselves. They don't want to use the group economic strategy to be able to level up in life. But, there's also a lot of reason why a lot of people don't even do that because either, they had bad relationship with their parents or they don't trust their family members. There's multiple reasons. But if you're in a situation where you don't have those type of situation where your family member is not negative or it's not, you get along with your family members, it won't hurt if you had other siblings around you to be like, hey, we should probably move in together to be able to save money because time is hard. Because we're living in a time today where it's kind of hard to be able to make it or just to live comfortably with only one salary. Either you got to get a roommate or if you have a spouse, the other spouse has to be working because time is getting harder and harder and harder every day. While the inflation of everything when it comes to housing, credit card, car note, groceries, insurance, you name it, it keeps on going up. And a lot of people are not able to keep up with this, especially if you're by yourself. You gotta have someone or some sort of support next to you to be able to make it. Unless, you hit it big or you start a business and you're highly successful. Yes, those are the outliers. But for the majority, it is really, 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 really difficult for them. So let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Until next time.